Hello. This is either the last part of the other video or the beginning of this video, but I want to say that when I come home from a trip, and especially spending 6 weeks in my 21-foot van, I ended up with the entire under the bed storage filled with things that I definitely didn't need in the van, which further strengthened my idea that I have too much stuff in the house. When we realize how much we really need, which is so much less than we think, and we have usually, not all of us, but most of us have way too much, including me. So when I went to put away my toiletries, I was like, I gotta thin out. So thinning out, pulling it back, releasing, letting go. If you do a little bit every day, your life will get lighter. You will feel happier. You will feel brighter. I just had a really good experience with on the phone with Blue Compass RV. I forgot about them. I bought my van at La Mesa. I get it serviced at La Mesa. They couldn't take the van. It needs to be serviced. The window is duct taped to the side till for 3 weeks. And I'm like, that's not going to work for me, because once they get it, they just have to look at it and then they have to order parts. So it's going to be months. And I was like, no. And then I was like, you know what? I got the window fixed at a different RV repair place. And I found the paper in my file cabinet. I was so impressed with myself. It's not very well organized, but there's a folder for the van. And I found the place, Blue Compass RV, and they are taking it in tomorrow for a 48-hour diagnosis. So I feel so lucky. And he said there's actually a recall on that window. So most likely I won't have to pay for it. I will have a trip to Prescott. And so now what I'm doing for fun for a couple of hours is just seeing, do I need this? Do I need this? Little things. The little things add up and create clutter in the drawers and cabinets. And so I want everything tight, like it is on a ship, like it is on the van, as it will be in the house. So this is probably a whole new video from the last one. So I'm just going through, this drawer in the kitchen. It ends up being a little junky drawer. I have a utility drawer. I have a candle incense drawer. Everything else is pretty. I actually have an empty drawer in this kitchen. I want to do the pantry. This is just my fun. In human design, I have outer vision. Everything needs to look right or else I'm not settled. So that's why I'm constantly just making sure everything looks nice. And then you get to a point where you don't have to think about it so much. So I moved all my stuff from Venice, everything that I wanted to keep here. So that's why I need to thin it out a little bit. So anyway, happy letting go, happy releasing, happy getting lighter and brighter. And I'm so excited about this new format. I forgot the mic. I got to get in the practice. I should probably just wear it all day so that when I get inspiration, you guys can hear me well. I think good sound is so nice when you're listening to videos, because sometimes you're listening to people in the car and it's loud and you need to hear. So I'm aware I'm going to be getting really good at this. See you in a little while whenever inspiration strikes, because that's how I like to make videos. I can't believe I'm recording and editing. It's not going to be good editing. Don't expect good editing. It's going to be just put together and posted, and that's fine for now. And I just want to say, for now, I was laughing as I said for now. Josephina, who helps me, and she cleans and we organize together. I'm like, she goes, should I put that there? I'm like, yeah, that's good for now. And she's always like, for now. I'm like, exactly, for now. It doesn't have to be forever. It's for now. Okay, you guys, what a morning it's been. I got up at 5:30 and had that revelation. The video prior to this one, I hear the garbage truck squeaking. I had a revelation that instead of doing all these little bits and teaching things and sharing things on my stories on Instagram, that I would have, every time I felt like making a story, I would just film a little clip. That was a revelation this morning. I'm like, I heard a voice in my head I got to hear from being quiet over the past 6 weeks. I think I allowed myself to hear I think being quiet enough to hear the why nots. Like, why am I not wanting to record? What's so hard about it? What are my thoughts around it? And my thoughts around it were, well, it's not going to be an organized about a thing. It's not like I'm standing at the kitchen counter making food and that's that, and whatever comes up while I'm making food. This is just going to be life stuff, the stuff that I share on Instagram, and it gets lost, it's gone. So I've been filming clips, and so I ended up going into this drawer here that is now so organized. I'll show you. And it's just nice. It was a blobby mess. And I came up with little things like this dish. I was like, I'm gonna use this dish. I haven't used this dish. I have 4 of them. Well, I put some jewelry in one of them in my bathroom. I'm gonna put this pencil sharpener in here so that when I sharpen a pencil at one of my coloring stations, I will have it catch into the little white dish. Letting go of things. But right now, I'm doing a little project. Oh, and I washed my hair. I realized I've bathed since I've gotten home, which felt amazing, but I hadn't done a hair wash. And now I'm practicing just letting it dry naturally and seeing if I like it, because I don't want to use heat all the time and don't want to have to be beholden to a blow dryer when you're traveling. Maybe being natural is good. So my daughter gave me these 4 very soft, beautiful, but not my color kind of curtains. 4 panels, and there's places I can use them, but I don't love the color. So I thought, what if I bleach them and see if they turn like a peach? I don't know what color they'll turn. One time I had these black pillows from Big Shams from Parachute, and I bleached them thinking, oh, they'll just turn a lighter gray. No, one set turned orange and one set turned purple. So the color underneath the black were these colors that were exquisite. So we're gonna get surprised. Normally when I bleach t-shirts or things, I do it in a bucket, not my washing machine. But what I've done is I filled up my washing machine with water, and I'm gonna put the bleach in, and then I'm gonna put these in, and I'm gonna swish them around. Well, the machine will swish them around a little bit, and they will be sitting for a little bit, and I'll check on them. I had a very good morning also. I think I woke up so revelatory and so just like, wow, I think it might be this full moon in Aries that's making me like, what do I want? What do I need to do? What's standing in my way? My own thoughts were standing in my way. And you know what? If I try making these videos and you guys aren't loving them, or it's not fun to do, then I won't do them. But I'm certainly going to try, because why not? And so I think I'll edit in the evenings. I think what happens to people who do YouTube and they're really concerned about good quality camera angle. Shoot, I forgot that mic again. I think I just got to wear it. Good quality camera angles, and then they spend so much time editing, and they do not have a life beyond filming everything that they do. And I've had an enormous amount of time not filming what I do, and I've given myself all the time that I want, but I do miss sharing. So there has to be a balance between living life and also filming it and posting it and not having it be such a big ordeal. Yeah, this is full enough, so let's put in the bleach, which I don't usually use bleach, but I usually have a bottle on hand for this very purpose. I'm just gonna use it. I don't know how much, I'm just winging it. I was so startled that time I had the pillowcases. I was like, that's gorgeous. So let's have a gorgeous thing with this. Let's see what happens. So let's swish it around a little. And we have the studio to do next. And we have so many art videos I want to share. White colored pencils are meditative. I'm gonna let it swish, and then I have to stop it because otherwise it'll run and the water will run out. This is dyed. This is dyed. This is a Hanes tank top that I dyed with red dye. This is a $20 Butelicate. That's the name of the company. Cotton slip in a medium, and I dye them all different colors. And that's what I wear. Okay, that should be good. Let's see. Clear up. Okay. Oh yeah, let's let it sit. All right, so that's it for now. I'll show you the studio. My garage studio needs some help. It's gonna get there. It's gonna be amazing, and we are gonna have you know, when I think about the different type energies, the refrigerator is like so loud, but it's getting changed. Anyway, when I think about the types of art materials and what they can do for us, for our mood, for our energy, it's different based on what we use. For example, if we use acrylic markers, that's going to be bold. If we use colored pencils, it's going to be soft and layery and meditative, unless you do them very hard, but most people color in layers. So we're going to talk about that, but meanwhile, have a jar, go to thrift stores, go to used vintage stores. This is an old jar, and these are watercolor pencils, which are one of my favorites to take in a bin or in a bag on the go, because then I can color, and with a little watercolor brush like this that holds water in the vestibule, I have water on the go and I could play like that. I have so many different things to show you, but in the meantime, get your favorite coloring art supplies ready. I also want to show you that I did my bathroom. And this is funny, I have a lock on this door because I put in like jewelry items or whatever that I don't want people to have access to, whoever. And I couldn't find the key. I put it in a new clever place and I found it yesterday, thank goodness. But we have lipsticks and some brushes, tooth things and things I use out all the time, lip liners and eyeliners and that kind of thing. And that's never done. Like, you can make it a mess and then decide you don't want to use something, you want to use something else. So put the things you want out all the time out, so you use them, and the things that are not being used a little bit away, but don't hang on to too much because it'll just be there being unused. But I also want to say that a lot of us just consider that we're hanging on to too much stuff. Pretend you live on a ship, on a boat, in a van. Picture the end result, which is that feeling of opening up the drawer and going, ah. I'm almost there with this. I'm not all done yet, for sure, with the toiletries situation, but we can keep doing it. Go as hard as you can, but definitely every day I recommend getting rid of, letting go of 3 items in your home a day. I'm letting go of that refrigerator. A new one's coming on Friday, and I got good news. My van window got cracked. It got off the hinge. I tried to close it. It cracked. It for 6 weeks was duct taped to the van. I found a mechanic to do it, and then I kept doing it as I traveled to make sure it wouldn't fall off in higher speeds and wind. But I found out the place that fixed it last time, they were like, yeah, it's a recall for that van, so it's going to be under warranty. And guess what? I think I said this already. Well, instead of waiting 3 weeks, I get to go tomorrow to get it done, or to get it diagnosed. He's going to diagnose the lithium battery system. The Volta lithium battery system has been so tricky, and I want him to diagnose it to see if it is working to its full capacity. I'm going to make just a van video so you guys can see what kind of van I have and why I love it so much, and a couple things that are like, well. So if you want to hear that, comment below. I'm going to go finish up so I can get out of the house and go for a hike, because I've done just about enough of this, and I'll be editing later. I made a space for myself in my studio, and it'll be fun. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And if it's not useful or very beautiful, I'm not having it. And that's what's going on today and every day. I also want to share something that I do. For those of you who are not carnivore, close your ears. But basically, I call it carny. It's been almost a year, and I make extra, oh God, that refrigerator. I make extra food, and I like it cold. This is hamburger. I sliced it in half, and I put butter on it, and a teeny drizzle of honey, so I don't normally have sugar, but once in a while. But it makes it kind of like a sandwich. You can leave out the honey, but don't overcook the burger, because that won't be nice. It'll be too hard. That's what I wanted to say. I still have to organize over here, but this is like my play. I have so many different stations. Okay, remember those open spaces bins I was telling you about? These are them. They're perfect, and the company does not have them in stock, and people are mad about it. So we have to find something like about this size. I retrieved these from the art studio in drawers that they were holding things that I didn't need them to be holding. So now they have a place of high honor, and they'll be used in the drawers I open frequently and where they're needed. It's just so you know. So that was open spaces, but they are not. They come with lids. You can see I've used them in my art studio, and I just love them. I've used them for mushrooms, for tonics, and they have all kinds of labels all over them. They are well loved. Let's find a replacement. The other thing I want to show you is that I don't use my spoon rest for spoons. I use it to put the tea bag in when I'm done. I also use it to cover my tea to keep it hot until it is steeped. Okay, I put on my mic. It seems to be working. It would be hard to forget the mic for this part because the refrigerator is so loud. It's just irritating me. I am very noise sensitive. I'm light sensitive, noise sensitive, people sensitive. So I'm also cooking and it's sizzling, and that's quite loud too. So for those of you who are not interested in carne or are not here for it, if can't handle me talking about it, you can close your ears for a minute. But basically, I got some steak. I like to fill the freezer, so there's always food. I got to tell you, it's so simple. I have been just do not spend a lot of time in the kitchen. It's efficient. It's so efficient. This projector in human design loves efficiency. And I got to tell you, I eat in the morning, mid-morning or morning, whatever. Today I had hamburger. I cook it with a little za'atar spice in tallow. It's in my cast iron pan. I no longer use the air fryer. I use a cast iron pan. It's seasoned beautifully from the last couple of meals. I cover it with a splatter guard because it does splatter a bit, but I just wipe it up, no big deal. The rugs I have on the floor can be washed in case it splatters. Sometimes I wear an apron, but no, I'm good. And I take the meat and I pat it so it's not too moist. I want to get it a nice sear and not smoky. And then I salt it a little bit. Sometimes I use like a Moroccan spice. And then I cook it on each side till it's brown, and then I turn the fire down so it cooks all the way through. I shut it off before I think it's done because it will continue cooking while it's hot, especially if it's in the pan. I'm going to shut it. So I was able to, in my van, cook in my induction pan, on my induction stove, no problem. I didn't have a cover, so I used my cutting board, and it worked, and it was great. And it's very easy. And now I'm thinking I need to make more. I always like to make extra for the next day. I love it cold, especially since I'll be driving an hour and a half to bring the van in, then I'll be going to rent a car, and then I'll be driving back an hour and a half. So the whole day I need to have what I call meat in a bag. I'm not kidding. The first time I traveled on an airplane, I had like an identity crisis and panicked and called my friend Terry, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And she and her husband were laughing at me. I'm like, I was going to bring it in this little container, but it's not going to fit in my carry-on bag. And now I got to put it in a Ziploc bag, and now I got to pull out a bag of meat. Meanwhile, the guy who drove me to Phoenix Airport, I ended up talking to him about it. He ended up going carnivore. And in the car, I was like, do you want some? And I offered him, and he had some of the meat in a bag. So we laugh. So now what I do is I double up these paper sandwich bags. I cut it, and then I cut it first, then I put it in the bag, and I just have it in my purse. I could make sure it's secure by a Ziploc bag, and that's how I travel on the go, and it's so easy. I was thinking of making a couple eggs too tonight just for some variety. I do have sardines. I have cottage cheese at times. I have a little half and half sometimes. I quit coffee, so I think it's making me a little bit jaggy, even though I've had matcha and black tea today. I know how to wean myself off of coffee. It's with tonics, but I don't really have hot chocolate anymore, but I can put different things. I try to stay as low oxalate as possible with little nibbles of cacao here and there. So I choose where I'm going to use my cacao. And actually, having a tonic sounds really nice, especially when you're getting off coffee. You got to be kind to yourself. I never wean, I just stop. But I also up the caffeine, and I add creaminess, and I add monk fruit, and I add some Chinese herbs, and I haven't really been doing a lot of herbs, but I don't mind a little bit here and there. Lion's mane, lion's mane. And that's what's going on here. I have been having beautiful days. It has taken me a few days to sort out the van from my 6-week trip and to I had to empty the refrigerator. It smelled. I left El Roiderai in there for 6 weeks. So next up, we're going to be making the El Roiderai yogurt. I want to make ice cream, and I want to make, if you don't want to gain weight, maybe you want to back off the ice cream, but I don't mind because I've lost a lot of weight, and my intention is not to get skinny. It's just to be happy and healthy. And what else can I tell you? Oh, since I crave chocolate, and they don't really, you can't easily buy white chocolate that's sweetened with monk fruit. You can find no sugar chocolates pretty easily, but not chocolate without the cacao part, just the butter. So I'm going to be taking my jar of cacao butter and melting it, putting salt and a lot of monk fruit and a little vanilla, and then I'm going to put it, maybe some coconut oil in there, yes, like I used to make my raw chocolates, and put it in the refrigerator. I always say refrigerator. It's refrigerator in the fridge to solidify, harden, and then I could have my sweet treat. So you got to make it work for you. Sometimes my meals, and my daughter loves this, are some kind of salmon or tuna fish in with cottage cheese and some salt. I'm trying to tell you any tips and tricks. Oh, like sometimes I'll cook extra hamburger and then it's kind of hard, even if I just leave it out. Not hard, but like you don't want to overcook it because then it'll be like a rock. And I cut it in half and I put some butter on it and some salt and just eat it. I hope that doesn't freak. I hope you didn't stay, whoever hates the idea of it. But it's working, and it's working for me. It's almost been a year. I'm reading texts that are coming in. I have intentions to go to the Grand Canyon, and I have intentions to get my van fixed and maybe switch to an all-wheel drive vehicle so I can go off-road a bit, not always stay at RV parks or on parking lots or on, flat surface. I want to like rough it up a bit. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about van stuff. But for now, it's been a lovely day. I don't know if they took to the bleach the panels that I bleached earlier. So I'm running them. They were in all day and they didn't look like they changed. So it's a hard dye. It may not have changed at all, but at least I tried. I was going to give them to someone, and if they didn't change color, I might. We'll see. We'll see how they come out. But we're going to also do a dyeing clothes session, and we're going, because I have stored white t-shirts, anything that has spots on it, anything, whatever that I want to have fun colors like this that I dyed. Just take your white things and give them a fresh look, or something that's too pastel. So we're going to do that. We're also going to be painting rocks and pebbles, kindness rocks, which I have been on my 6-week trip. I gave away and left some. I want to tell you the story, but I'm going to tell you the story about the doobie pebble I painted next time, because that refrigerator must be bugging you, and if not, it is bugging me. So I'm going to go cook some food for tomorrow, and I will be all prepared and happy and on my way to having Vanny B diagnosed. She needs to have her lithium battery checked. She needs to have her solar system checked. She needs to, and I'm researching ways to like make sure you always have charge, like the Jackery extra charger, and things that I can do to be a little more stealth on the road to allow me to not have to be plugged in. That's my goal, is to spend a little more time not plugged in. because RV parks are so sweet and they're safe, and some of them are awesome and spaced apart, and some of them are like more sardine-like, and you just go with it. But sometimes you just don't want that. You know, you want not as much as that. I'm looking into the mini Starlink, all this stuff, all the fun stuff. And yeah, that's what's going on. So the only thing that is for sale is the Doobie Universe Oracle deck. So go to the Doobie, D-O-O-B-I-E, Universe, and I'm going to be doing an official video about that and showing you the deck really soon. So happy getting wise, wild, and free, clean, clear, and bright, and as always, keeping it raw and keeping it real. Okay, I'm happy to report they did get a little lighter. They feel a little like, we'll see when they're dry, but it looks a little lighter, less severe. So that's kind of cool. Happy night. We're going to spend some time in there.